Hi everyone, this is Turnerburner922, and I'm here with HollowStrife. He has many excellent horror class guides for people that are just starting the game, and he also has walkthroughs for Hive Buster campaign and Gears Tactics. HollowStrife, also known as Robert Tropical. How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just started my day with a good old podcast. Thanks for taking the time.
Not a problem. I'm happy to be here.
I appreciate it. Where are you from?
Oh, now this is where obviously the accent difference comes in. I am from a
Uh huh.
town called Manchester in the United Kingdom, not to be mixed up with the one from New South Hampshire. And the only reason I
Yeah,
know that is because I once got a very personal phone call off a lady there.
that's actually funny. That's actually funny. So you're from. That's so bizarre because that's actually where I'm at in the States. Ironically,
Really? Wow.
that's yeah. I shit you not. Yeah, you're the fact that you're in Manchester. That's so bizarre.
Oh,
Yeah, we wanted to actually move. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the States. We wanted to move to Maine, but there's like no availability for spots, so we had to settle for New Hampshire, and that's where we stayed at, or are staying, I should say. So
wow.
that's awfully coincidental.
Turns out I'm just round the
but
corner from you.
yeah, yeah, I guess so. But are you? Isn't there like a really good? I don't really watch soccer, but I guess you would call it football. Do you? Isn't there like a team called Manchester United?
It's funny you should actually say that. Where I live, if you go to the end of my road and turn left,
Yeah.
you are at that football stadium where they play. So,
Seriously.
yeah, genuinely. So it's a good job you're not doing this. Well, sorry, we're not doing this on match day because if
Yeah.
that team ever has a really good day, I can
Uh huh.
hear the crowd from in the room where I am doing this with you now. It is so
Wow.
bizarre. And I'm not even into football myself. So I only ever know when they're playing because I can hear it.
That would be annoying. It's kind of like living next to like a train tracks or something like that. But anyway, that's
Exactly.
actually kind of cool. How did you get into gaming? Do you remember your first gaming moments?
Oh wow, now we're going back. Very first gaming moment. I grew up with the Nintendo 64. I think that's what it was called back then.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I did have friends that also had the SNES, which was before that. I think it was just before that. I might be getting that wrong.
I don't know. Snaz? I'm not familiar with Snaz. Called
And
Snaz?
SNES, NSES. I might be getting that wrong. I can't remember which order it came in. But even before
Hmm.
that, going back all the way to Atari, I even had friends that had them. But
Oh, that was like the '80s, wasn't it? The
yeah,
Atari.
yeah, but
That's the very first gaming system period, I think. The
yeah,
Atari.
but they were still
Yeah.
around, and I'm 91. So even when I was growing up, they were still around.
Hmm.
Cannot remember the games that I played on them. Like the earliest games I can remember playing, obviously like the Super Mario series, Super Mario 64, Crash Bandicoot games, very, very original Crash Bandicoots. Um,
Hmm.
Bomberman 2D, like really, really old school games that you aren't even around anymore, really.
Yeah. Yeah. What is that? When I was playing on the Nintendo 64, we only played Donkey Kong. That was
Oh,
it.
Donkey
And
Kong
then
as
after,
well.
yeah, that was my game. And then after that was Game Boy. Play Pokemon. It was
Yeah,
basically like I would get like one system and then like one game and then and just focus on that one game. That's kind of how I was growing up.
I did exactly
But
that. I had a Game Boy as well, and it's Pokemon Yellow for me, the Pikachu edition.
oh yeah, I forget which edition it was, but yeah, I had one of them. But yeah, those were the games.
Oh, they were
Super fun. I
amazing.
don't know. I wonder if they still do Game Boy stuff
It's all Nintendo Switch now,
nowadays.
isn't it?
Oh, I think I heard about that years ago. I don't follow it now. Ever since I've gotten into like PlayStation and well really Xbox mainly, I haven't really followed what they were doing Game Boys anymore. I stopped playing since I was like a kid. But anywho, so how did you get into Gears?
Into Gears.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this was playing with a friend. They had the Xbox 360, and they were like, "You've got to
Uh-huh.
try this game. This shooter. It's Gears of War." I was like, "Right, okay, I'll
Mm-hmm.
try it." Tried it out, loved it straight away. I was like, "I need to get into this." So I ended up going
Mm-hmm.
out, getting my own console, picking up Gears of War,
Mm-hmm.
um, playing through the campaign, and then just absolutely going ballistic online. Um, Never managed to get the seriously achievement though, unfortunately, because we would
Mm-hmm.
only ever do, me and a friend at the time, we would only ever do 19 rounds on Fuel Depot, and that was a big map back in the day. That was a huge
Right.
map,
Yeah, it was
especially for
huge. It's
4v,
enormous.
especially for 4v4.
Mm-hmm.
And so these games would go on for an hour, an hour long, and you'd only walk away with about 20, maybe 25, 30 kills if you were decent. And so it
Right.
just took absolutely forever to get these games done.
Yeah. I was that. So you came in with Gears One then?
All the way back at the,
So,
not quite at the
yeah.
beginning. I think it was maybe out 5, 6 months before I got into it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've actually. What is it? Like everyone that knows me knows this story, but it's just like I came with Gears 2, but at the end, I actually the only actually you're a better person than I because when I my friends introduced me to the game, I went straight into versus because that's what they were doing, and no one was in the mood to help me get through the campaign. So till this day, the only campaigns I've finished start like all of it is actually Gears 4 and Gears 5.
You've not
I've
done
played no.
what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like High Buster, excuse me. I've done High Buster too, but yeah, I haven't done all. I've seen some of it and I've done some of it, but at those times, my friends just weren't into it. They were only versus players. So my first like as far as Gears 2 is concerned, my first gaming experience was strictly Gears 2 versus. I don't think I did any Horde. I might have did some campaign, and yeah, that was it. And then Gears 3, same thing. I didn't have a lot of time in Gears 3, but it was just versus. I never played. I know all the main plot points or whatever, but that's actually something I want to do this month is get through the campaigns I haven't done, and that includes Judgment as well. But
That includes what now?
Judgment,
Excuse me, I
but
don't know
yeah,
what you're
just
talking about.
you don't know that game.
No, I don't know that one.
But yeah, that game too. But
I can't believe you've not played the original trilogy. That is amazing to me, considering how much of
yeah,
Gears 4 and 5 you've played.
yeah. Well, I played mostly. What is it? Five. It's just kind of how like I guess the timing of my life. I've had the most time to play when I was for Gears 5 and Gears 2, but the other ones, Gears 1, I didn't even know about it. And then Gears 3 and 4, my real life was too busy to play games, period. So, like, it kind of just works out to where I've played mostly Gears 2 and Gears 5. But as far as campaign, it's just my original friend group and back home in high school, they didn't care for campaign. They didn't care for they. It was back ironically, even though I play Escape and Horror, they used to make fun of people who would like just kill bots or whatever. So that's just kind of how they were. So that's how I was when I was like 16, 17, and 18. So it's just like, oh, you can only kill bots. Now here I am playing Horde and Escape. So,
Oh,
so
how
I
the tables have
basically
turned.
exactly. I grew up to be the person I'd make fun of 10 years ago. So, but
That's
but
just,
yes,
that's
I
just
never got into that.
that's just bizarre to me
Yeah.
because I thoroughly remember when Gears 2 came out. I went and I got the big like Ultimate Edition version.
Yeah.
Got that, got back, played it with a friend. We got the campaign done very quickly.
Yeah.
If you know the main story points, the part where Dom finds Maria,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that bit happens, and then we're both just sat there in party chat going, "Bit dark, that isn't it?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
it's probably the
kind of killed the mood a bit. But let's get back into
yeah,
that.
it's probably the yeah, it's probably the darkest, moment in all of the Gears, honestly.
Yeah, but it's such a very great character building moment for Dom, and then when in Gears 3, when unfortunately, spoilers, um, it's 10 years.
Yeah, it's old. It's old.
But when that happened, I remember because it was a four-player campaign in Gears 3 because they introduced that. There was a four-player campaign, you could do it. Me and three other massive Gears fans at the time that I used to play with. That happened, and then like the entirety of the next chapter, no one said a damn word. It was silent. It's like everyone had been raptured suddenly. I'm like, guy, hello, you still there? Hello? Yeah, we're just not saying anything. So, okay, fair enough, understandable. I get that.
Everyone's still trying to play, but they're in mourning.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, it's that's how you know a game's good. If it got you feeling like that,
exactly.
if it got you borderline in tears, you know that the storyline is good.
Yeah.
So, for sure. Um, so, uh, when I first came across your channel, I think at the time, like someone had asked me, I don't know which video it was. Someone had asked me to do, I forget the exact specifics, but it was something I knew I wasn't gonna do because he said something like, "Hey," because it gets to a point like, and I was what is it? I was telling my wife about this. I was like, it's hard for me to make a video exclusively just because it's a tutorial that needs to be made. Like I have to enjoy the thing first. You know what I mean? And then I can like leverage the fact that I enjoy, like for boss rush, it was easier for me to make a boss rush tutorial series, not necessarily because everyone was asking for it, because I enjoy boss rush. So someone asked me if I could do, they said like, oh, can you show all the hives and you know each weapon and each ammo room and each class is how it's useful for. Like the way he was like was adding to his question, I was like, man, this is a lot of work. But I basically told him like, hey, you could just look at some of my stuff on my channel. But I was actually looking to see if there was any like beginner, intermediate level videos, and that's where I came across your channel. I think you did a few hives and then a few what is it? Well, you did all the classes now, right? Aren't you finished with all the classes?
Yeah, I just finished with the last class had to do was the architect. I got that about 4 or 5 days ago, something like that.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I saw that video. So, I guess my question is ultimately, will you? So basically, the videos you have now is a couple of hives, maybe more than a couple. I don't know the exact amount. Um, all the classes. Will you do like a intermediate and then advanced level? Kind of like build from what you already have. Have you thought about it as far as your channel?
Um, well, in terms of the like escape videos that you're going on about, it's those were so difficult to put together. They took me forever to do because you'll know yourself, you've done gatekeepers and stuff so many times, and you know what all the spawns are, and you know what all the variables are. And so I'm there, I'm going down, getting point way through, and go, wait, nothing, don't kill anything. Okay, two elite grenadiers, three
Yeah.
drones, and oh fuck, I'm dead. Gotta do it again now. So you just be going through, and I'm writing everything down and trying to get everything in, and then eventually it's just getting. I'm doing, I think for the gauntlet. Is
Yeah.
that not the gauntlet? What's the very first hive where it's like free? You got three acts. It's a very very long one at the very start.
Oh, descent.
That's
Descent.
it, Descent. That one took forever just because there's so many rooms, and I was trying new things with editing and stuff like that, and it just.
Yeah.
I remember that first video. It must have took me easily 20 plus hours to edit that all together, and then I got to the end and it got 200 views. I'm like, yay, time well spent. I mean,
Yeah. It's. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, those 200 views, great, I appreciate them, but it's just the amount of time and effort I've put into them when they can just go and watch one of your videos where you absolutely blasted through a hive and go, yeah, just do it like that. That seems to be a lot easier.
Yeah. It's what is like when it comes down to escape. When the guy was asking me this, and I'm just thinking like, I was thinking about all the hives, and I was like, most of them don't even deserve this much attention to detail. That's what my first thought was. I was like, maybe. So let me think of the like hard hives on top of my list. Maybe the line, the gatekeepers, the split, the surge, the end. But like, I mean, could you imagine a video where you spend, like you said, 20 plus hours, and it's like the clock?
Oh
Like it's
God.
just like, yeah, it's just like, what am I doing? So like, so it's just kind of, like, it was kind of like, if you have questions, ask me. But I have every, hive in multiple different classes, team or solo. Just ask me a question and that's fine. It just didn't seem like there would be any real new ground covered if I were to do something like that. I have done detail analysis on a few hives, but it didn't seem like it was. It didn't seem like when I finished, I was like, okay, I'm definitely adding something to what I've already done. So, but yeah, now that I know that you did something 20 plus hours, it sounded like I made the right decision, not really getting into it.
Yeah, don't bother. It was. I'm not gonna lie. They were. The feedback I got on those videos was like the detail is incredible,
Yeah,
but I'm just not willing to put that amount of time in for the very very few amount of views that
yeah,
people are actually watching them for. I was
yeah,
looking forward to doing some of the easy ones. Like imagine me doing Venom Run. Oh yeah, you've got a two
yeah,
times mutator, and then you've got a four times moving faster mutator. So you don't even get a chance to go in all the rooms. So what would be the point in covering it?
yeah,
So if you're doing it on master, yeah, just run. There you go.
yeah,
Guide sorted,
yeah.
2 minutes long.
Exactly. It's just the first room, and I've seen people get to that. I think there's 3 rooms. But yeah, if I've seen people get to that second room, but mostly it's just the first room. Like 99 out of 100 times, that's all you really
Yeah,
need.
go in there, grab
But
some stim, grab some flashbangs, and hope you get
and
good
hope for the
spawns.
best. Yeah. But do you think you'll so because like the videos for your classes, I would say are a little bit maybe higher than beginner as far as how they're constructed now. Would you build off of that to make like, okay, well, here's like another tip associated with, I don't know, Blade Master, that's a little bit, maybe a little bit more advanced than what you've already covered in the videos you have. Is that something you've considered?
Well, I was actually in some of the comments for the Blade Master video. Relaxing Cody was in there making some comments. I was like, guys, just don't watch my video. Just go over to his channel and just watch anything that he's done. He'll be able to answer everything. Anything you
Right.
ever wanted to know, just go there. He'll have the answer for you. But
Yeah, I can. Yeah, Blade Master, I guess, would probably be something that has been covered a lot. Okay, so Architect, as an example, that's probably something that hasn't been, as far as like advanced tips, probably hasn't been covered a lot.
I don't think that class needs them really. It's the architect. You've got 4 cards. There you go. Put them on and try not to die. There you go.
There you have it, folks. Advanced tips for Architect.
Even better,
Uh,
try not to play as it once you get to level 20. There you go.
there you go. uh, what is there anything that is there anything specific that motivates you to continue playing Gears 5 at its current state, or is it just kind of like, just nostalgia or friend group or anything specific along that lines?
It's just more the enjoyment at this point. I still want to go through and master a bunch of the hives. I've still not done all of them. I still need to go through and do some 50 waves for a bunch of the maps. I've not done all of them. Still need to do that, and it's just basically grinding out some of the cards and stuff like that. Like you, I've got very, very little to do left in the game. I'm just kind of a lot of the videos I've got that I want to still do before I move on to something else would be like, what are my final thoughts on Gears? What do I want to see in Gears 6? And in fact, you've done a video that I started to watch the other day on what you want to see going forward. I still need to watch the rest of that, but it's like, if I do it now, though, it seems like I'm copying you. Um, so damn you.
I mean, sorry. But I mean, I've that's actually funny you said that. Because I've actually had, I won't say the channel specifically, but I had a video, I think about a year ago, And this is back when interrogation was new or whatever. And my friend told me about like, hey, if you combine interrogation with spotter support, you can bomb the whole hive or waves of horde. And I was like, oh, this is useful. I'll make a video on it. I shit you not. It was like maybe less than 6 hours later, there was another channel did the exact same video. So like,
Still had your watermark in the bottom right, yeah.
well, no, well, no, no. Well, it might as well be. It was basically, if we were in school, it would have been plagiarism. But it is what it is. They basically did the exact same thing I did, except obviously they may have picked different maps, but the concepts are the exact same video. So yeah, so it's actually funny that you saw a video idea and you like avoided copying. This person said, "No, I'm gonna copy." But anyway, that's just funny to me.
If I'm gonna copy, I'll flat out tell you. It's like, I'm doing this video. By the way, Turnerburner's already done this video, but I'm just copy and pasting it.
But there's actually a solo I have that's basically a cut and paste. Like if you didn't see the game, like it was it's actually one of my favorites, Clayton on the Gatekeepers, and like basically everything I do in that video of mine, someone does literally the exact same video, or like Anthony. That's like the only difference in the video. But like it's as far as a solo, it's fine to copy because they're hard. But anyway, it's just you notice certain things over time. Actually, on that note, have you ever had somebody what is it, like watch your videos, learn from your videos, and then like teach you, like they didn't realize it was you, but they like teach you something that they learned in your videos to you? Have you ever had that happen? No, it's actually hilarious. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Right. 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 Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's actually because I don't know if you're on the Gears forums or not, but it's just like it's actually interesting some of the dynamics. I don't want to say I'd never play with randoms, but it's pretty rare that if I open up like nowadays I should say, where I would like open up a lobby and then allow randoms to join, because I know I'm pretty easily frustrated, so I try to like avoid things that I know are going to frustrate me. But yeah, I've heard some bad, like I really like demo, like as far as like solo or even with team, like for specifically boss rush really. But it's just like the demo stories I hear in public lobbies, like I'm actually completely unaware of. Like I heard people say like, oh, the demo will deposit, well, sorry, they won't deposit, but then they'll demand two lockers. And I'm just thinking like, what? This is like, are you serious? But like, that's insane. But yeah, it's just like, oh, your my money's my money, and then like your money's also my money. It's just like, wow. But the arrogance. But anyway. Yes. What? That is the most incorrect thing. When I so boss rush is different because you have the tactician, so you don't really need a locker. But for 1 through 50, I usually only use one. Yeah, like really. And nowadays, the way Horde is now, you have a lot of really strong classes, so demo doesn't have to like carry the wave really. So it's just like you have Blade Master destroying all the Joan enemies. So it's not like demo even needs to constantly spam anyway. So I find it interesting that people still play. I don't know if you played in Op 1 or Op 2, but like there are still demos that have that mentality where they just like spam GL nonstop for a minute every single wave. But I don't even know how you do that now with only 3 shots, but I'm sure people are pulling it off if they're working out of 4 lockers. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know how other people feel about it, but I feel like demo right now is its strongest it's ever been because of the passive. I feel like the passive is absolutely awesome. The fact that you can mark like multiple bosses at once or multiple mini bosses at once, but I'm sure there's other people that disagree that miss the GL spam from Op 2, maybe even Op 3, or maybe just Op 2. But anyway,
I'm not too
I hate
sure.
when people. Yeah, I'm not sure when it changed because it was like it changed so like JD spawned with a Lancer GL at one point, and
Yeah.
then I think it was up 3. It changed to Boom Shot,
No, you
but it was still like.
at the very very
Go
start
ahead.
you started with a Lancer GL and
Yeah,
Boom Shot, and then they nerfed that. You started with a Boom Shot and a Nasher. Okay. And then they changed the Nasher out for a Lancer, and I think they've kept it that way. I
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. Well, now it's Boom Shot. Is it Nasher? I don't even know. No, it's Boom Shot Lancer
Yeah.
now. I don't think you ever got Lancer GL and Boom Shot from the beginning.
No.
I think it was Lancer. So Lancer GL Nasher. I don't know, but it's just like the changes they've made to demo. Demo's never been bad in any operation. Is kind of my point as far as like the changes they've made. Honestly, he may have only gotten better for the most part. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's another
it's
another conversation.
definitely gotten better. Like even, in fact, on my channel, there's a really, really old JD thing. It's all completely out of date now, and a lot of the jokes I was trying to make on that video were so forced. It was. I look back at them now and go, "Oh, why did you do them?" Um, but every now and again, I go back to it and I reference it. And I'm like, "Oh, that's not the same anymore. That's not the same anymore. That's not the
Hmm.
same." It's like these are only small changes, but they've made it a lot better. And I can say that
Yeah,
for a lot of the
absolutely.
classes, not just the demo.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no like as far as like if you're just playing like traditional horror or horror frenzy, there's really they've done a good job of making them all playable, I'd say. There's not like a class where it's just like this class is just so horrendous. I never want to see this on a 1 through 50 or horde frenzy. At least for the most part. I don't even know what the worst class would be because they're all relatively good in terms of the traditional game modes. But anyway, what if you're not on Gears 5, is there other games that you like? What games do you think you'll play if you're not playing some already?
I've been playing that Back for Blood quite a bit. Um,
Yeah,
I was hoping to maybe start covering that as well a little bit, but I'm still trying to get through it on the hardest difficulty. Been playing Warframe a bit more recently, just because there's been some new DLC for that. So and
yeah,
it's been a game that, in fact, Gears 4 when Gears 4 came out, I played the hell out of Gears 4. Got all the way up to re-up 10. Who was only re-up 10 in that one? And then they added 5 more, I think. Got up to re-up 10, got most of the cards maxed out. Got a couple more re-ups when they added the new one, and then obviously eventually got burnt out. And then a friend was like, try Warframe, try Warframe. And then I was like, I kept putting it off for ages. Tried it, and I've been hooked ever since. And then
Hmm.
the only reason I've stopped playing that is because Gears 5 came out.
I have to try that game.
It's a,
Yeah, like I go ahead.
it is a very, very good game. It's just very much like something that in fact, I've got a video coming out where I basically highlight the problem that Gears doesn't have a very, very good tutorial system in the game whatsoever. So I don't know if you've noticed, but there's quite a few new players popping up every now and again, and you'll get these new players and you'll see them playing the infiltrator and picking up a boom shot and just like, did you even read any of your cards before you started this? I mean, I'm not gonna start losing it with someone. I'm just like, you're better off doing it this way. You're gonna get more use out of that class. But I'm just like, the game
Yeah,
doesn't do anything to back up new players. And Gears 4 did a lot better version of it because obviously they put the fabricator in the campaign and they got you used to that interface and that. But Gears 5 has done nothing for it.
yeah. The tutorials are basically 100% contingent on what the YouTubers are gonna make,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah, that it's like if and but the thing is about tutorials, to play devil's advocate, I don't even know. Like so for if people are struggling with the game, like so as I mean I got lucky basically when I was struggling with escape, like basically someone who was really good, basically fell into my Gears life, if you will, and then helped me through all the hives, and I've been virtually good ever since. So I kind of got lucky in that regard. But if it didn't happen that way, I'd be more apt to like look up stuff on, YouTube or, tutorials. And I don't even know how many tutorials were up during Operation 2, probably almost none. But yeah, I don't know how many people that like if they struggle with Horde, campaign or even escape, is there, like how many people take that next step to try to get better through like learning through others? I don't even know how many people do that. Because it seems like people just kind of just like for the most part they just kind of make it up as they go and hope for the best. Like you'll see like pilots with Nashers or blade masters with boomshot. It's just or salvo. So I don't know. I don't know that aspect of it. Even people like you mentioned the fact that that person was new. It's just like I see people that aren't new doing interesting things where it's just
Yes.
like, yeah, it's just like re-up 60 full max level and like I'm JD and you're I don't even know pilot and there's a boom shot and you took it like how did you come to that conclusion that as pilot your boom shot damage is superior to my boom shot damage like seriously. But I don't know what people are thinking when they if they're thinking when they come across some of those situations.
It
But
is bizarre. It's like the Gears community is weird. You've got a bunch of us that will help each other. And it's like, just can I take that? Because, my class is better with
mhm,
it. Here's something in
mhm.
return. And then you get these people that will just, like, you take their weapon off the weapon locker, so they'll grab all your weapon and dump them in the corner until they despawn. It's just like, just not helpful, dude. Not
So
helpful.
petty.
Exactly. But I've I've
uh,
I've probably done that myself as well. Like you,
mhm,
sometimes I don't have to have that much patience when it comes to randoms. I've always got a
mhm.
rule that you do something stupid once, I'll forgive you. If you do the same thing two, three times, you're getting kicked. I'm not putting up with that.
Yeah,
And
because it gets to a point where it could affect you could be wasting your time. You could like lose on wave 50 or wave 12, and it's just like I don't want to lose on wave 50 or wave 12 because of a random. But anyway.
exactly, it's like 2 hours into a wave 50, and he's going, "Yeah,
Hmm.
I'll turn the sentry round." Why?
Hmm.
It's perfectly
Yeah.
placed. Why do you need to move it? Go away.
Yeah. I don't. Again, I don't know. It would be interesting to go in the mind. Well, probably not for too long because I probably become schizophrenic. But in the mind, in the mind of some of these randoms, like how they like go through step by step, the decisions they make. But Anyway, that's probably actually no, I don't mean that. I don't want to do that because I got to protect my own mind. But have you considered? Because like I saw that because you have a Twitch account. I'm almost positive. Um, but you haven't streamed in 2 months. It said is that right? Just to make sure that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So again, going back to the whole being on Gears 4 and playing the hell out of that, um,
Hmm.
that was still the Xbox One at the time. So I played the hell out of that, and eventually my Xbox gave up and was like, "Nope, you're out. I'm done now. Go back to PC." So I
Yeah.
had my PC at the time, and it needed upgrading anyway. So I did some upgrades. I was like, you know what? I'll get into this Twitch, and it's mainly because of a friend. In fact, I've got one video on my channel where I made a friend of mine do an alternate voice, and I've had so many dislikes on that video just because of that, and it's hilarious. But it's because of that friend that I tried doing Twitch originally when I came to PC. But
Yeah.
I do plan on going back to Twitch at some point. It's just finding the time.
Hmm.
It's because
Yeah.
between making 20-hour videos and and actually playing the game, there's not much time to actually sit down and stream. And some it's like I don't want to get burnt out. Like in fact, I re-listened to this podcast that you did when you did it with Cherry Quench, and he said he was getting burnt out, so he didn't want to play the game, he didn't want to stream. I don't want to get into that situation, so I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
If I do get back into streaming, it's going to be a slow build up, maybe like one day a week, couple hours, but hopefully soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like when I saw it, I was like, oh, like it said I was because I wasn't sure if you had one at all. Like so, I like went on Twitch and searched. I was like, oh, he has he hasn't done anything in 2 months. So I wonder what that reasoning is. But yeah, I was actually thinking that you could whenever you start and have time to, you could just basically reinforce some you obviously you could do what you want, but like I was actually thinking you could reinforce some stuff that you like taught on your YouTube channel. So like if you theoretically your recent video was architect, you could like do some architect gameplay so you can kind of see what it's so people can see what a player actually does in practice and like a 12 frenzy or an escape match or a 1 through 50. That was just an idea I thought.
Yeah, but you say that, and then that little nagging voice in the back of my head does that Rob Schneider voice going, "Don't do it, don't do it." It's like, but you do have a good point. It would be some people are interested in seeing that sort of thing. So, like that,
Yeah.
all the boss rush tutorials that you've done. It's just like if ever anyone needs any extra demo help on my videos, I just send them a link to your videos. I go, there you go. There's all the help you need.
Yeah, I probably have. Yeah, I've definitely played that class. I just enjoy it. I play that class probably more than any other class, probably by far, honestly. But yeah, I guess for the classes, I don't even know what classes aren't really talked about like that on YouTube.
What is your most played
Um,
class? Is that definitely is it definitely Blade
it's
Master?
probably. Let me
Not
look.
Blade Master demo.
Let me look real quick. I'm almost positive it's for escape. Okay, so I have. So for escape, I'm gonna try to remember these numbers. I have 18 days of Blade Master and 18 days, 8 hours of Blade Master, and then demo is 7 days and 23 hours. So
Jeez, that's a lot of
and that's
time.
just and that's just escape. So we're gonna go to 1 through 50. Okay, demo is 15 days, 18 hours, and then like Blade Master's like a day. So demo is 15 days of 1 through 50, and then it's about 7 days of escape. So you're looking at 22 days of just demo
Um,
between 1 through 50 and escape.
Mine is terrible. Most played character, Jack.
Your most played character is Jack.
Yes.
Gross.
Why? I've never noticed that.
How many days?
That's only 2 days. That's 1 through 50. I don't do many of them. And then it's demo after that, then infiltrator, and then mechanic, robotics expert. Jeez, I need to sort that out. Right? Oh,
So your highest total for days played is
is
2 days with Jack.
yes.
Oh wow, that really puts in perspective all my numbers. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have just 9 classes above 4 days.
Jeez. Well, between Horde and Horde Frenzy, I've got 19 days of gameplay. I dread to think what you have.
Between,
Both Horde
let me
and
look at
Horde
this.
Frenzy.
For just Horde and Horde Frenzy, it's 45 days.
What?
Then when you add let's see, 45 plus. Then the escape is 96 days, so 96 plus 45, so 141 days between escape and Horde.
Yeah, Gears 5 has only been out for 110 days.
Oh wait, what? No, that's not right. You got confused for a second.
That's a lot of time, though.
That's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It used to be at like earlier on, I guess a long time ago now. I used to be like, I had like 30 days of Horde before I even had a day of escape because it was just so hard, and then like it slowly caught up to Horde and then just blasted right through it, and now it's not even close. So yeah, 141 days combined between the two.
Jeez.
Yeah, I've probably played Blade Master or Demo more than people have played the game. Period.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Before all people have played the game.
but yeah, what is it? All right, so that's it for the first portion. I have a couple of rapid fire questions to go into. So, are you ready?
Yes. Do I have to answer quickly?
Okay. No, it's not like, I don't even know why I call it rapid fire. It's not like I'm like pressed for time. I should probably call it so I should probably call it something else. But anyway, for now, let's call it rapid fire until I figure out something else. But anyway, what is your favorite Horde map?
Favorite Horde map? Wow. I can't remember all the maps off the top of my head. I'd definitely say All Father's Arena just because it's slightly randomized.
Okay.
What else is there? Asylum as well. That's mostly
Okay, that's
because
good.
of the obviously the train coming through. It gives that little bit of element of like that's one thing I feel like Gears maps are very lacking nowadays. Like you used to have Avalanche. You'd obviously have that massive avalanche come through. You had Tyro Station where you had that giant train come through. You don't have many maps nowadays where they've just got environmental hazards,
Yeah.
which is a shame. Like they could have done something on Reactor with that giant thing that comes down. If you stood in the middle of the map, it just obliterates you. That'd have been nice.
You can. It doesn't kill you, but it can. It can hurt you if you're on that fire or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't like kill you. So anyway,
Of
but yeah, it'd be cool if they had like some sort of like kind of how the campaign has like I think it's Gears 4 where that wind flare section where the elements is also an enemy.
yeah, the
But
wind flares.
yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be cool if more maps had that.
yeah, they did that in Gears 4. They did the Reclaimed map and they put it was called Reclaimed Wind Flare. I don't know if you remember that. It was just the same map, just at night time with wind flares going through it. That was
That's
so
right.
good.
So yeah, it'd be cool if maybe they'll do that for Gear 6.
Hopefully.
We'll I don't have like super high expectations for Gear 6. I'm just kind of like I don't want to be disappointed, so I'm keeping my emotions steady. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But what is your favorite escape map?
Ooh. Now, whatever I say, you're gonna go. Shame on you.
If you say clock, that's the end of the podcast. No, I'm joking. But go ahead.
I don't even. So I don't even know most of them off the top of my head. I remember the Ice Queen. That one was quite challenging at first,
Yeah.
especially because most people don't understand what the relic drop shot does. Um, what else? I like the Onslaught as well, just simply because it's quite a chilled out version. You just sit on turrets, or if you really want, just run past everything, depending on what kind of playstyle you want.
Right.
The Wanderer with the Invincible Scion, because I always screw up and forget it's invincible.
That's not a bad one.
For some reason, always it's like, oh yeah, it's coming. Just we'll all I'll be playing like Blade Master or something, and then activate your ultimate and just start hacking away at it. It's the health bar's not going down. Oh yeah, that's why, because it's dummy. And then you have to just run away. But probably one of those three. If I had to pick, hmm, yeah, I'd probably say Onslaught still. As I just,
Onslaught.
yeah, I just enjoy doing that one for some reason.
Yeah, that is probably Onslaught's probably. So you mentioned two in my top 5 or 6, I'd say.
Phew.
Yeah, like Ice Queen. Ice Queen for the longest time used to be my favorite, and then I had like a phase earlier. Oh, sorry, I guess not this year, but earlier last year, around March or April, where I was able to solo the line with all classes, and then it got me thinking. It got me liking the line more. So like for me, the line is my number one, and then Ice Queen second, and then like I think the end is in there. The Surge and the Onslaught are probably my top 5. And it's not so much what the map looks like; it's just because they're difficult.
Yeah,
But it's just kind of like that. That's what I like.
I'm sick of the Surge though. When that speed running thing came out, I had a friend that wanted to keep doing it for EXP, and I even made a video covering like how much class XP you get for it. It's pitiful. I'd rather just do a Horde Frenzy or 1-3-50. You probably get just about the same or less, but at least you're not just forward, stop, forward, stop,
Yeah,
forward.
I'm. What is it? I'm so grateful, like, cause like the buddy that taught me everything was with Escape at the time. I'm so grateful that that was not his thing. Our thing to get, class XP or whatever was literally just clearing escape hives on master. Like when I even discovered the fact that you could speedrun the surge or the clock, I was already good at that point. So luckily, like when I wasn't good at the game, I wasn't like taught those habits because I feel like with speed runs, when you do it on like stuff like the overload and surge, in my opinion, I think it actually makes you worse overall. Even if your cards and class XP is getting better, I think you're getting worse at the game. So you have to kind of like relearn. So when you face like a real map, like you have to like relearn some of those good behaviors, because it's just like the split doesn't care how many times speed run the surge.
Yeah,
It's just you still have to kill. Well, you there are ways to speed run the split per se, but in reality, for the most part, you have to like know how to kill a sentinel, know how to kill a guardian for the most part. But anyway, so yeah, for anyone listening, no speed runs. Don't do them. They're bad for you. They're bad for your health.
exactly.
But what's your favorite class to play? And you can have one for Horde or Escape.
Favorite class? For Horde, for some reason, I still love the Infiltrator. It's the very first class guide I did. I loved it
Yeah.
even when it was Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know, getting in close and shotgun. I think it's because I've always been a PvP player for the
Yeah.
longest time, and that getting that kind of experience in against bots um,
Yeah.
is the closest thing, considering I don't do much PvP nowadays. Um,
Hmm.
for Escape though, ooh, I'd probably say something like Anchor or Blade Master because they're quite universally. You can use them in quite a lot of different hives. Um,
Yeah.
Anchor, I'd probably
Okay.
say even more so. I do like that class. I,
Yeah. A lot of people. Go ahead. Do you have
no,
another
no,
one you
go
want
on.
to add? There are people that say I have a few people like when I made an escape tier list 7-8 months ago. And there were people that said that Anchor. They actually said they disagreed with part of my tier list because I didn't put Anchor in the highest tier relative to what I had.
Oh well,
Like
wait
I just
until they
had.
get mine. I mean,
uh, but yeah, because like I have Nomad and Blade Master exclusively as their like I think they're the best classes, and then everyone else, all the other classes follow. But I think people think Anchor is just as good as Blade Master, Nomad. I mean, I don't think so. I think Nomad. It's a toss up for me between Nomad and Blade Master, but I don't think any of the other classes come that close. But agree to disagree, if you will.
I think the Blade Master's definitely got stronger cards. I'll have to agree with that. Like the survivability on the Blade Master is absolutely ridiculous. I think you've got what, 4 different health regeneration cards or something like that.
And the passive, yeah, it's insane. Yeah, it's yeah, it's just like you have the short range, which is defense. You have the passive defense. You have thrill, and then you have the venom blade.
Yeah.
What the hell am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting venom resistance. So yeah, if you want to get super tanky, you could put on mid range. I don't know anyone that uses that anymore. I use that early on, but I haven't used that. I use shock chain now, but you get a pretty frequent ultimate. I would say for an escape hive. So yeah, for me it's either Nomad or Blade Master, and then everyone else is after. But because like if you put I can think of easily a few situations to make Anchor like uncomfortable. Like if I just throw like 15 juvies at Anchor, it's gonna be a problem, But if I throw like 15 juvies at Blade Master, assuming there's venom, obviously it's nothing. So, but anyway, that's another thing. But yeah, I remember a few people said like, oh, I think even a couple people wanted me to put like Marksman in the same tier as Nomad and Blade Master, but
For escape,
I don't know. For escape, yeah.
I'd have to disagree with that instantly. Yeah, I'm with you. It's not the same
Yeah,
tier.
it's just no, I don't think so either. Like I'm not saying it's like bad. I just don't think it's as good as because the thing with Nomad and Blade Master, if you get a Nomad and Blade Master that's really good, they can completely take over a game like very easily. And it's just like you may end up doing nothing because of it.
Yeah.
But there's not a ton of other classes. Marksman can do that in like lethal. If he gets a sniper immediately, he could probably do that. But it's not all hives aren't like that. But anyway, I digress. Let me get to. So, what is your favorite game outside of Gears?
Favorite game outside of Gears? Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a tough
And
one.
you can go back, and you can go back in time if you want, like way back if you want to.
Oh, if I've got the chance to go way back, then I'm talking PlayStation 1 era.
Yeah.
It's an older game. It was called Jack and Daxter, the first one. I don't know how many people are going to remember that. It's not specifically that game, but the two that came after it, Jack and Daxter 2 and Jack and Daxter 3. Because the first one was very much like a Crash Bandicoot platforming game, and then the second one just became this hyper-violent, cartoonish game. I was like, I am down for this. I want more of this. And then, if any game could ever be remade, I would have that trilogy be remade, and I would absolutely play the hell out of it. But
I guess we'll see.
yeah, I say that though. I say that, but I've also been a massive Final Fantasy VII nut for the longest time. I've even got a tattoo with a reference to Final Fantasy VII, and
That's cool.
and I was really looking forward to getting a PlayStation 5 so I could play the remake, and I managed to get one about 6 months ago, and I've put 3 hours into the remake. That's it. I'm like, I need to go back and finish it, but I just can't find the time.
Yeah, there's on that note, what year did that game come out? The game that you're talking about? Because I never heard of it.
Jack and Daxter.
Like, how come I've never heard of it? Maybe I'm just a casual. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
You filthy casual. Wow, when are we going back? When was that released? 2009 originally. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong thing. That was the carry-on that they did, which was terrible. 2001.
Oh, it's not as old as I thought it would be.
No, 2001 it originally came out, and then Number two came out in 2003, and then 2004 for Jack 3. And then they did some spin-off stuff throughout the years, and oh, I would happily go back and play them.
I wonder they may have already done this. Again, me being a casual, I don't know, but I wonder if they like remastered like like Donkey Kong. Like I wonder if there's like a 2015 Donkey Kong edition I don't know about. Cause that was my game. Oh my gosh, I love that game.
And
But
I think anything Donkey Kong nowadays, you're gonna have to look at towards a Switch for that kind of thing, aren't you?
probably, yeah, they probably there's probably like a company that has the rights to it, so they won't be able to make it on other stuff. But my wife likes Spyro, so we actually have Spyro here.
Oh, the great game, great game.
Yeah, classic. Yeah,
That and Crash Bandicoot. I remember Crash Bandicoot being a lot
I like that
easier.
game too.
That was a lot easier when we were younger, right? They definitely upped the
Yes.
difficulty. It's not that we're getting
Yeah.
older or anything.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Totally agree.
Yeah.
100%. What is your so out of the Gears titles, what is your favorite one and what is your favorite campaign moment?
Oh, I was hoping you'd ask this. Thank you. Favorite Gears game is going to be
Yeah.
Gears 3, and I know some people will disagree with me. Um, Gears 3 for me was when it was at its best. It had obviously dedicated servers,
Yes.
strong
Yeah.
story. Um, Even like beast mode, I loved that mode. Where you played as the locust killing the cog in like the opposite of Horde, basically. A fantastic game mode.
I have a gameplay uploaded. Yeah, my friends got me into it. Yeah, I've played Beast Mode.
Oh, I absolutely
Super
love that.
fun.
Like Horde mode now as well. That started seeing the improvements that we've obviously that the coalition have expanded on in Gears 4 and 5. So, but
Yeah.
it was mostly for the online Gears 3. Although, like one of the biggest issues I had with Gears 3 is that was all the way back on the Xbox 360. When I had that at the time, my internet connection at the time was questionable, shall we say. And it had this thing where if you booted the game up but you weren't connected to online servers, it would reset your progress. And then next time you were online and joined in, all your progress would be reset. And I had this happen to me about 3 or 4 times, and it's the seriously 3.0 achievement in that game, which still eludes me, was for getting all the Onyx, for getting all the medals, all 65 to Onyx. I think I've done it, but the amount of times it's reset, I don't actually know. Because it reset at least 3 times on me, so I gave up in the end trying to do it. I just played it online just for the online in the end. But favorite Gears moment of all time though as well. Ooh, I think it was probably when Ty Kaliso was probably introduced in Gears 2 because he was this very very mysterious character that you didn't know who he was, and then
Yeah.
he was like portrayed to be this unkillable machine, basically the earlier version of Clayton Carmine, and then you rescue him halfway through Gears 2 and it's like, oh, what's down the end of this barrel? And just blows his own head off. It's just like, that was unexpected, but
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking for me as well. I was like, oh. It's just like, okay. But
But I'm glad they brought him back in Ram's Shadow to expand on his story. Like even Min and Barrick, they brought them back to
yeah.
expand on their stories. I'm so happy because they are Kim, not so much, but the other two definitely very very good characters.
Okay, cool. So would you say the moment, I guess, when Ty comes out of the little prison and then
Yeah.
suicide, that's your favorite?
Well,
That's kind of dark.
Well,
That's kind
more-
of dark,
more
man.
when he was
No, I know
introduced.
what you mean. I know. I'm just trying to. But what is it? I asked. I don't know if you're familiar with Commander. Also from Gears 2, Maria, when Dom has to make that decision.
yeah.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. You said Gears 3, but you mentioned Gears 2 being your favorite moment. I
I,
don't know.
I'd say the only reason I like Gears 2 campaign more than Gears 3 is because Gears 2's campaign was a lot darker, it was a lot grittier. It had that
Hmm.
kind of horror element that this series has been lacking a little bit. I think Gears 4 brought it back a little bit, the horror element, but since
Yeah.
then it's kind of disappeared again. So that is what is Gears to me. Like when you're going through the factory in Gears 1 and you've just got like wretches like bouncing off the ceiling and kicking the walls in and stuff like that. That's like first time playing that you're like something's gonna jump out at me, Dead Space style in a minute. Something's gonna jump out at me, and you're just
Right.
like edging forward slowly, and there is that moment when something bursts out at you. And I remember, I don't know why I'm saying this, but I vividly remember something jumped up and I squealed like a little girl and threw the pad in the air. I went, ah! And then scrambled to grab my pad to finish the thing. And I was just like, that you bastards! Why did you do that?
Oh boy. Yeah, the I think I got to play more campaign before I explicitly have a campaign moment. It'd probably be, similar to everyone else's. I think the one that I can remember off the top of my head is being so horrified by the Berserker in Gears 1. I remember like being like super scared like when you I don't know if it was like some unnamed cog gear or whatever like it like runs around the corner and then you see in the shadow the Berserker just like tearing it to shreds or whatever. I think that for me as far as like was one of the more like impactful moments and like I was like legit scared. Like I had like nightmares about being like running away from the Berserker. It's just I don't know. That's probably what comes to my mind first. A little bit different than what most people would say. Um,
I do
but yeah.
I do like that moment, but the bit that gets it for me is, in fact, that unnamed COG gear got he got a name during the Ultimate Edition remake. He's called Giles.
Oh, he did.
Weird bit of trivia for you. Um,
Ah.
when he gets killed, and then you've got the rest of Delta Squad going, "Be quiet! The Berserker might hear us!" Just screaming at it. It's like, it kind of killed it me for a bit. It's like, yeah, she can hear you, but
Yeah.
through
Exactly.
the magic of a pre-rendered scene, she's not going to come charging at you. So it's a bit like, ah, come on. I mean, I've seen the guys that obviously do the voice acting for those characters, and they're big guys, but
Yeah.
it's just learn how to whisper.
Yeah. Just scream at the top of the lungs, saying like she can hear us. It's like the people in the library in real life when they say like shh, and then it's just like louder than like the actual talking.
Yeah.
That's basically
Yeah.
what it's like. But so since I actually been kind of like making a couple because I wasn't exactly sure where you were from, but I actually have questions about like this is getting off of gears. So in Manchester, what's the best place like if I end up just like riding my bike and then all of a sudden I'm in Manchester?
Well, well, you are around the corner, so.
What's some good places to eat in Manchester? Like where do you go? I don't know if you guys are locked down or not. I don't know how serious it is over there as far as like.
No, we're still allowed to go outside and lick each other's
Okay,
faces.
cool.
Normal British things.
Normal. Okay.
Well, in fact, because I re-listened to the one you did with Cherry Quench, I remember you mentioning that you and your wife are both vegan.
That's right.
I'm not, but my girlfriend is vegetarian. She's not as hardcore as you. But not too far from us, there's a small curry house that we go to. It's literally just called Sanscruty. It's a completely vegan curry house, and it's just we actually moved closer to it so we could start ordering takeout from there because where we originally genuinely because of where we originally lived, it was too far out that we couldn't get delivery, and it was just every time we wanted to go get food from there we had to order it.
Yeah.
It's like, right, I'll drive down, be about half an hour, And then we drive there, get it, and come back. And by the time we get back, it's cold. So we move closer. And the first day we moved into this new place, it's like, should we order from Sanscruti? And we just looked at each other, just nodding. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. And so it's completely vegan. She'll eat anything with paneer in. Not personally a fan, but that is definitely, if anyone listening ever comes through Manchester, the UK one, and you are vegan, Sanskrit is definitely a good place to go for vegan food.
Okay, noted. Like I heard like because um what is it when we go out of town not I'm kind of nervous about going out of the country with this whole COVID stuff because you never know when you can get stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
But like for the future reference, we have been looking at different places that like are the like more vegan friendly states, more vegan friendly countries. And then like I think England was number one as far as that's concerned.
Really?
So that's what I heard. Now that I have you, I can ask you because in Vegas there's vegan restaurants everywhere. That's probably one of my favorite places to be in terms of if I, because there's just all over the place, as far as vegan restaurants. But Defensor in my last podcast actually killed it for me because he was like, he basically, because he actually lives in Vegas and he's like, oh, Vegas sucks unless you like live in the strip. And I was like, oh, okay. So basically, because I vacationed there a couple years back for about a week. And I think we went to like 20 different vegan restaurants in that week.
Wow.
So, and then we ordered like vegan pizza. It was like a fantasy of ours. So like, I don't know. So I don't know if what I've researched is exaggerated as far as like England. Is it something where I could just order vegan pizza easily, or is it just really that place you already said? Is it just that one place?
Oh no, there's definitely other places, but it's just
Okay.
it's there's a weird culture thing over here. Obviously I know plenty of vegans and vegetarians, and you must get it. I don't know if you get it over there because it's obviously a different culture and stuff like that. But whenever you tell someone you're vegetarian or you're vegan, someone who's a normal meat eater, an omnivore, will go, "Why?" It's like,
Oh boy.
do I need a reason?
I wasn't raised vegan, so like I've been on that side, and I've been in, I've asked those questions like what's your problem? Why don't you like bacon or something like that? But yeah, you as you get older, you learn things over time, and then you can make decisions however you see fit. I suppose is probably the easiest way I could describe that. But yeah, it's always like there's a lot of conversations I get into. It's almost like I'll mention I'm vegan, but it's not really to have a conversation about it necessarily. My wife likes talking about it, but like I just kind of like mention it because that's just what I am, and I can't have certain things.
Yeah.
But some people are curious, but some people want to start arguments. Yeah, it's just, and I'm okay with either. Like just like you want to argue, we could do that. That's fine. But if you want to if you just want to give me like if you just want to take eggs off of my strawberries, that's also fine too. But it's just kind of you actually being vegan, you actually are kind of surprised how many like sneaky non-vegan stuff is in items. Like you'd be surprised, like you could get rice and it's just like filled with like beef stuff, but obviously you wouldn't care, but it's just like you have to like look, you have to like turn the box over everything. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh, it's just like you get used to it after a while, but early on when you don't realize it, it's actually kind of tedious.
Yeah, like one of the things that we have to look out for is wine is filtered down with fish scales in some cases, but it
Yeah,
doesn't tell you
yeah,
on the packaging. It's just like
yep,
you have to avoid it. It's such a hassle to try and find these things because they're not why they're getting better over here, admittedly. Like
yeah.
the that Beyond Meat that's very popular over there, that's finally started making its way over here, but it's like £5-6 like just for a small packet of two burgers, and that's quite extortionate. So If we're ever
Right.
feeling extravagant, we might get it, but it's one of them. It's like it's hard to live that lifestyle, and the amount of stuff you give up is unbelievable.
With the meat replacements, it makes it that makes it easier because you can always still get that taste if like especially early on. There's a brand called Gardein that basically has a meat replacement over everything.
Okay.
So when it comes down to it, it's not I'm not really I haven't really sacrificed anything. The only thing that I like, and I don't really even miss it that much, but the only thing I've thought about is like I don't know if you've heard of it, but like flavor blasted goldfish. I don't know if
I
you
had no
are
idea
aware of
what
it.
that is.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like nationwide, worldwide, or what, but it's like this goldfish that's basically loaded up with cheese, basically. Um, but they haven't made vegan cheese can be like terrible or good. It just depends on who it is. It's 50-50, but yeah, they haven't made a replacement for that. And there are like maybe one day a year where I'm like, man, I could really go for like a big box of flavor blasted goldfish, but because that used to be the bomb when I grew up. But if you don't know what that is, you haven't truly lived.
Nope, I can't
No.
say. We're very very uncultured over this side of the ocean.
but uh but anyway,
One
so
like the one thing my girlfriend says she always misses is marshmallows because getting vegetarian or vegan marshmallows is impossible. I don't know if it's the same thing over there, but whenever she finds vegetarian or vegan marshmallows, she will go through a packet quite easily, and we will be eating nothing but s'mores and marshmallows for about a week because they don't come in small packets. It's either buy
right.
6 kilos or nothing.
Oh so you have to buy like for the month or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
But I've never really been into marshmallows, so I guess I haven't really looked. I don't know either way. I've had it obviously, but it's just like not really, outside of like camping when I
Yeah.
was like 8 years old or whatever. But anyway, it's been a while. So what's your overall favorite thing to do in Manchester,
Um,
if anything, or do you just hate it?
just hate it. I stay inside, just scowling at people as they walk by. Um, no, other than obviously try to do YouTube and stuff like that. And when I'm not at work, I'll try to do rock climbing as well because where Manchester is, we're surrounded by mountain ranges.
Hmm.
So a few years ago, a guy that I worked with, he was like big on rock climbing. It's like it sounds interesting. I want to get into it. So I've been doing that for years. Trying to do it outside as well, and it's just I've always had a slight fear of heights.
Yeah.
Not much, but like now I will go up, I'll fall, I'll go up, I'll fall, and it's just like if in fact if I ever do get back into streaming and I've gone for a good climbing session the day or the same day, like I'll be so tentative on my keyboard and my mouse because my fingers are blistering and hurting. It's like you guys have got the advantage. You're gonna have to carry me. You're gonna have to carry me this time. I am useless.
Yeah, that's how high the because I doubt you're familiar, but like there's some mountains in Colorado that I've done that go up to like 13,000 feet.
I've never done
And
anything that high.
let me clarify. It starts because the elevation in Breckenridge specifically it starts at like 8,000 or something like that. So it's like the elevation gain is like 5,000. So it's not like I went from 0 to 13,000 just
Yeah.
for context. But there's a place in Maine called Mount Katahdin was basically zero to 5,500. I want to say.
Jesus.
That's actually yeah. So that's why that's another reason why I moved to this area because it was, it's got more mountains. You can't really hike all the time. I would like to go to a place where you can hike all the time because once it gets like once it gets really bad snow, because of how snow is on mountains, the snow just stays there for months.
Yeah.
So it's like if it's snow within the last like 2 months, you can't like do it. Say so. How high do the mountains get over there?
Well, we've only really got two
Okay.
mountains in the entire country. You've got Snowdon in Wales and Ben
Hmm.
Nevis in Scotland. I've
Yeah.
climbed Snowdon. That's just a few hours casual. You can't do it in winter though. Just freezes up. You can't do it unless you've got ice
Hmm.
gear and
Snowshoes and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
spikes, that sort of thing. Same thing with Ben
Hmm.
Nevis. I've never done that. I've had a friend that's asked me to do it with him, but it's not exactly around the corner. It's just a 5 hour drive just to get there, and then
Hmm.
good few hours hiking up, good few hours hiking back down, and another 5 hour drive back. It's not exactly a trip around the corner, is it?
No, no. It's out of I don't know how it's set up over there, but like, it's like you have to like I know for Katahdin, I had to drive 4 hours that morning just to get there, and it was like an 11-hour process. It was a event basically.
Yeah,
It's just like yeah, it was rough,
yeah. There's nowhere like
but
nearby. I have to go to like a load of indoor centers that are nearby just to
mhm,
practice and get like my weekly fix basically. Um,
yeah.
so I'll do that, but it's weird as well because around climbing, especially in this country, it's got a very sort of a lot of climbers do yoga as well, and a lot of them have like they do have a vegan lifestyle and stuff like that. I remember a bad experience once, but I was obviously needed a sugar rush. I was burnt out, and I decided to have a vegan brownie in between climbs, and they make it out of soy, and it was so dense. I felt like someone had strapped like a 50 kilo weight around my ankles because I'm just trying to just straining just to climb the first few things, and it's awful. That's one of the worst mistakes I've ever made.
Mm. Yeah, it's when I what is it? When we did I don't know how it is over there, how strict they are, but when we did Mount Katahdin the first time, we were well, sorry, not the first time, but when we were about to do it the first time, we went with just like, normal, nothing super serious, I should say. I remember bringing one water bottle, and then I don't know what day of the week it was, but we'll just say we went one day and we got there like noon, right? So this is before it was like I I was unaware that there were like rules. I don't know how strict they are in Manchester, but basically the person in Katahdin wouldn't let us hike that day because we came to quote unquote late in the day. They basically say like if you didn't come at 7 or 8, it's gonna get dark and we don't want to come rescue you. I'm paraphrasing, and so you have to come tomorrow earlier if you want to start. And I'm just looking at him like, took us like 4 hours to get here. It's just like, are we really gonna be turned away from this place? And he's like, yeah. And then it was actually a blessing in disguise because we start looking up like how long it would take and blah 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 blah, and we're like, oh wow, we would have been like screwed. We don't have enough snacks, we don't have enough water, so we basically drove back, took the day to buy a bunch of stuff, and then went back, and we had to be there at like 7 in the morning, and
Wow.
then yeah, we were there at 7 in the morning. So get this, we stayed at my sister in law's, which was like 4 hours away. So we woke up at like, so I guess using that logic, probably 1:30. Left out at 2 a.m. to get there probably about 6 a.m. ish. And then roughly 7 a.m. start time, roughly. The whole hike, we didn't get back down to where we parked until probably 6 p.m. that evening. So 11 hours. And it was brutal. It was a brutal 11 hours. My legs were basically done 3 hours in. Like
Yeah.
I was basically done. But then like you turn around, you're like, okay, well I'm tired, I'm done. Like if it's like a workout at a gym, you just leave, right?
Yeah.
But you're on a mountain, you're like stuck. It's just like, well, I'm here anyway, so I might as well finish.
This is
And
where I
so
die.
yeah, this is where I die. So but yeah, so basically, and then we drove back. So basically, that day was like 2 a.m. to roughly 10 p.m. that evening. Very, very long
That is
day. Probably didn't do it.
and then a 4 hour
Go ahead.
drive after that. Damn.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so hopefully, because I saw some people like next time we do, I saw some people doing that when we got there. That I guess there's like a camping area at the base of the mountain. So theoretically, if you camp the day prior, you won't have to do that drive in the morning at least. That way, you're not just tired from just the drive over. And I'm sure a lot of people started earlier than 7 if they camped at the base. That's probably something that we didn't know about that we'll do next time we try, maybe. But anyway, we'll see. I'll let you know if it happens. But
Yeah, definitely film that.
and
Put it on your YouTube. That like from a first person perspective.
yeah, yeah. But all right. So my last question for you is when relative to what happened with Gears 5 and like the pros and cons of it, what are some things that you would like to see different or reinforced in Gear 6?
I like the RPG elements that are going down with like the class systems and stuff like that. I don't know if you've done it, but I've thought of like, oh, it'd be cool if they added this kind of class in, or like because you play other games, I think you know what, this could work well if it was translated across as well. This
Yeah.
would be nice to. So I really hope they expand on like the number of classes.
Uh huh.
They definitely need more in terms of like game modes. Like escape stopped getting
Hmm.
supported after Operation 4, which was a little bit poor in my opinion. So
Yeah.
they definitely need to do a lot more in terms of, and even then, like Gears 5 when it first came out, you had what 6, 7, 8 classes, something like that. So a very very small amount. It's just I hope Gears 6 launches with a lot more ready at like obviously the day the game comes out, because this was one of like I was never really into escape, especially at the very beginning, because you had
Hmm.
3 classes unless you got the Halo Reach stuff where you got an extra 2,
That's right.
and then if you got the Terminator things, you got an extra 1. But they're all the promotional classes. They were never very good at the start. Um,
Hmm.
and the fact that you had to complete complete any horde or escape map on advanced, then you had to complete it on elite, and then insane, just and then inconceivable just to unlock master difficulty. It was like
Oh yeah, totally forgot about
that.
that.
That's one of the reasons I never got into escape early on. I was just so bored with trying to do escape after escape. Like, I mean, fair enough. When the game first came out, you had that learning curve, But some people just want to, right, this is day one, let's go straight into the first escape. We can do it on master. Yeah, we can do it on master. Load in, dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give it another go. Dead. Right, maybe we should practice. Yeah, let's do that. But
Ye-
definitely needs a lot more, in my opinion, when the game first launches.
Yeah, I was I didn't really I did verses a little bit when the game first launched, but I was like most mainly busy with real life, and then I basically took a work break around January, so I had a ton of time then, and then I just despised verses, so I was just like, let me see what this horde thing is like, and because I didn't play Horde at all. I didn't play it in Gears 4, Gears 3, and I think it started in Gears 2. I was just a
It
versus
did,
player
yeah.
at the time. So, so yeah, I was like, okay, this is different than what I've done, and I just kind of got hooked over time. And when I completed my first 1 through 50 on, I think it was beginner, I was like, I thought, like, what an achievement. But and then I just slowly built up over time. But it's like, so I really don't know what that initial, irritation is from launch because it wasn't it wasn't even that bad when I played. And then when I got an escape, because I like my friend told me that the Hive bus, like, so Blade Master, or AKA Lonnie, didn't even have a Venom Blade when it first came out, which I think is just it's just crazy to me to think about now. So I only know of Blade Master with Venom Blade. I couldn't imagine the class is pointless without Venom
Yeah.
Blade. So it's just kind of like I I don't know how they justify. Maybe I guess because of Brawler, maybe.
Even then,
Maybe
the
if you
brawler
was
wasn't
just
out until Operation 3, and then even then, it was Horde exclusive for.
no Brawler. Sorry,
Oh, the brawler
Brawler
skill
skill
card.
car. Yeah. Where it's just like maybe people will use Brawler instead of Venom Blade.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. That class probably sucked until whenever Venom Blade was released. Probably then it's probably like the best one, honestly, when Venom Blade was released. I don't know when that was.
I do
But
remember when Gears 5 first came out, everyone wanted to play the Anchor. Well, Mac at the time. Everyone wanted to be Mac because of that bloody
this is
shot. Just because of bloody shot, and the fact that you got that at such a low level, and it was so effective. Everyone wanted to be Mac. I remember, like, obviously, like, and the fact that you could only have one person play each character at first as
yeah.
well. That was infuriating because it would be like, whoever could pick Mac the quickest.
Yeah, it's I think what is it? When it first came out, it had what 100% bolt-on bleed or something like that,
Yeah, I
if I
think it was
remember
that.
correctly. Yeah, which is like I don't even think it has 100% now.
I think it's
I think it has
85.
80.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but and then maybe when the shield's up, it goes over 100. I don't know, but yeah, super strong class when it first came out. I guess it was like really the only usable class. When the game first came out. But yeah, I feel like if it doesn't have a good launch, it's just going to lose like most of its fan base. Because I feel like a lot of people, I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like a good amount of people didn't even give it another chance if it didn't have a good launch. Because maybe they were still on the fence because of Gears 4, and then they're just like, okay, well, no, this is enough. Coalition sucks, whatever. But anyway,
I mean,
but yeah,
the coalition in my eyes, they did a really really good job remastering Gears 1. I loved that remaster. I thought it was fantastic. Gears 4, they did a lot for Horde, and the campaign was pretty decent. So I was really excited when Gears 5 was announced, and I got it like day one. Went to play it immediately. Just spent 16 hours of the first day playing it. And I was like,
yeah,
I shouldn't have rushed into this because for the first, I don't know, 3, 4 operations, I barely put any time into this game. It's only since Operation 5 onwards that I've actually grinded as much as I have.
does it have anything to do with the classes being unlocked?
Yeah,
Because
that's the
I think
main
that,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah. I think a lot. I heard a few people say that on in my comment section, like, oh, I'll come back when they unlock the classes. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
yeah, I've ever since Gears 1, I've always played as Baird because he's a massively sarcastic arsehole, just like me. So I've always played as him, and the fact that like he wasn't even available on launch, even though he's in the campaign, I was like, what is going on? And then they released him
Right.
as the robotics expert. I was like, cool. But again, everyone wanted to play the robotics expert because there was a weird bug with one of his cards at first, and like barrier damage counted as
Yeah,
headshot damage
yeah.
or something
Bleeding
like that.
barriers.
Yeah,
Bleeding barriers. Yeah,
it was
I hated it.
it was effective. Don't get it me wrong. It was just, oh right, okay, robotics expert. I'm gonna just sit and read a book for 2 hours. So let me know when it's done.
Yeah, for me, I thought I guess to each his own if they wanted to use it. But for me, it was like it made the game so boring for everyone else.
Yeah.
Like I actually didn't even play Baird until they got rid of it. The day after they got rid of bleeding barriers, that's when I played Baird because I just didn't like the or if someone wanted to play Baird in my games, I was like you have to drop. You can't use precision rifles because you're going to get bleeding barriers.
Yeah.
But anyway, because it just slowed the game down. And honestly, when the game actually got difficult, it actually didn't even matter because it's like one of the big things in 1 through 50 Horde is wave 35 or wave 45 Sentinels or the Swarmac.
Yeah.
And it's not like the bleeding barriers help with either of those two situations anyway. So. Or the matriarch you could even throw that in there. So like I felt like yeah, it's good for killing like drones and scions or whatever, but that's not a wave people struggle with anyway.
Yeah, as
So,
soon as you get to those
but,
bosses, it's just like, oh, what are these on the floor? Oh, never mind.
yeah, destroy, destroy. So it's just like, so for me, I thought the whole thing was kind of exaggerated as far as like people's perspective on it. but yeah, it did make the other waves pretty boring, so I didn't deal with it. Once I knew what was going on, I didn't even deal with it. Like after that, because you would get like the first time I realized it, there was like I'll never forget it. There was like this robotics expert just sitting in an exhibit, not doing anything but planting barriers everywhere.
I had
Like
that
I could
exact
have,
same experience.
yeah, where he would just plant barriers. There's like 50 barriers all over the damn map, and it's just like I didn't know what was happening. I didn't even understand. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? So um, once I was because I wasn't sure what was happening, I was like, I'm just gonna kick this guy because like I don't know what he's doing. He's cheating in some fashion. I haven't figured it out yet. But anyway, so
Yeah, in fact,
yeah, what,
like when I first started covering gears, I was covering like the classes attached to them, and I specifically remember I never mentioned the whole bleeding barrier thing with beds, like
mm-hmm,
cards, because I was like, this is a bug. This they've got to get rid of this. Like, eventually it's
mm-hmm.
gonna go, and I was so happy when they eventually took that out, because
It took them months. It
yeah,
took them almost yeah, which I'd find insane that it took them months. And there's like um what is it? What's another one? Like when Gunner was Clayton was first released, like his Soul Survivor worked even if you had 3 players. They fixed that within like 3 days. Like they released a character like, oh, we fucked up, and then they like fixed it virtually immediately.
I
So
never knew that
when
one.
that happened, yo, you didn't know that? Yeah,
No,
when Gunner's first, yeah, if you had Gunner like the first, when it was first released, and I would probably say about 2 to 3 days after, maybe even up to a week, but it wasn't longer than a week. If you had Soul Survivor on at any point, it worked as if he was by himself.
oh, I think I
S-
know why I never heard of this. It's because Cole came out the same time, didn't he? As the brawler.
yes,
I
yes,
absolutely loved the idea of Cole, and I absolutely hammered that class until I got it to level
okay,
18.
yeah. I thought Cole when he first came out was awkward to use. I was like, this is kind of like the punch and the melee and the tackle. So like I didn't really get into it a lot early on. I was more into Gunner, especially because the Soul Survivor really accelerated, uh, escape matches. It made them really fast. Like it's because you could just get your ult every 50 seconds with teammates.
Jesus.
So it's just kind of like yeah, it was nuts. So like it's a map like the barracks where you have those drones in the beginning, you basically pull the fan and then you just ult all of them. So yeah, that was super nice early on. But yeah, they got rid of that pretty quick, which makes me wonder what took them so damn long with the bleeding barriers. Because it took them months. I'm almost positive, at least 2, to fix the bleeding barriers. But yeah, anyway.
I mean, if you want to complain about how long it's taken that, I'm pretty sure you can still crab walk and get out the mapping gears one, can't you? But they're never going to fix that.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, probably actually, you probably can still do that. Yeah, who knows how they decide what to fix and what like oh we'll just let this out slide or
Or
whatever. Who
if it
knows?
is even is fixable.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if that was, I remember originally going through Gears 5 campaign, there was a bug in Act 3 when you couldn't progress the story because of some weird bug with Jack. And I actually did a video on how to fix it. I managed to figure a way out, and it's had a load of views. And I was like, why has this been? How has this even gotten through the game? Because it's just so bizarre as to how it's even got in. It's just like as soon as someone posts a video, it's like, no, we don't need to fix it now. Just everyone go there and just get around it. It's like, no, just fix your damn mess.
Yeah, just yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking over there, but anywho. I actually have one last question that just came to my mind. So so after you made the architect video, what's next for if you have anything in the works for your channel?
Yeah, I've actually got a video coming out on tomorrow, technically for me. I've got some video coming out Friday tomorrow, 5 p.m. GMT, so midday over there for you.
Yeah. Yeah, noon.
Um,
Yeah.
you're totally gonna call that I've copied it, but don't worry, I've mentioned you. I'm doing my own horde. I'm doing my own horde tier list. I've
Oh,
I've
nice.
mentioned
Nice.
that. In fact, in the very in the introduction, I've mentioned that yes, you and Cherry have already done one, but I've just finished my horde class guide series. I've just done the last class. they're not going to make any changes from now on. So this is the end of the game. This is what
This is the time to do
yeah,
it. Yeah.
this is what it's going to be. This is how I feel like the game's ended. Um, so that's coming out on Friday with a special announcement at the end of that as well. So
Okay. Okay. Cool. What is it? I mean, it's semantics really, but I've technically haven't done a horde tier list. I did an escape tier list and a boss rush tier list. Cherry did a horde tier list because I can't do a horde tier list because I don't play regular horde like that, so I really don't have the experience. I'm really not qualified to be straightforward about it.
that's my
To
thoughts of
talk
escape.
about, yeah, I'm
So
not really qualified to talk about slugger, protector, striker in regular horde, like or mechanic. I'm just not. I would have to do so much more gameplay. It'd probably take me 2 weeks to get enough gameplay in classes I don't already, like classes that aren't demo, Blade Master, Nomad. I'd have to do a lot of gameplay in those other classes to feel like, okay, now I feel like this will be the best possible information I can deliver with the Horde tier list. So I just haven't done it. So I was just like, okay, people can just go to Cherry's tier list, and that's just what it is. But anyway.
yeah, so like I think I mentioned it in mine that like this only counts for like Horde and Horde Frenzy, the one that I'm going to do. If you want something specific for Boss Rush, go see Turnerburner's videos. If you want something for
Hey.
Jingle Juvies, it's Jingle Juvies. You don't need a tier list. Anything will do on that.
That's true.
Um, I don't even know some of the like Nexus Siege. Just stay back. Take any class. It doesn't actually matter.
I haven't played. I don't think I've played that since they've like released the like they released like all the horde modes or whatever. I don't think I've played that on Master.
No, I think I played it a little bit when it was the event at the time, but I don't think I've touched
Yeah,
it
same.
since.
Yeah, same. I just kind of been locked in on boss rush. It's just kind of like boss rush and like custom escape hives is kind of where I'm at with this game right now. But anyway, so are those so you have that video? So is the tier list done, or are you about to work on it?
It's I've got the commentary done for it, so I've obviously just got to do a bunch of editing on it.
Okay.
Not I'm not doing 20 hours of editing. It's going to be much simpler in terms of video like editing this time around. So it's going to be that with a special mention at the end, and then I'm hopefully going to work on some other extra bits for gears, maybe like my final thoughts on the game, like what I thought of the campaign, like a final review essentially, what the campaign was like, the online, like the PvP and both of the PvE modes. I do think I want to do some kind of video like that, but I've not even started that one, so that's gonna be way off. But hopefully before Gears 6 comes out, otherwise it's irrelevant.
Yeah, Defensor says he's gonna do something similar, but the only specifics he gave me, he said it'll be done sometime in 2022. So I think he's kind of in your state where he doesn't want to commit like a ton of time to it.
Yeah.
Like in a short, he doesn't want to be like take like all week to do one video or whatever. So we'll see what he does, and I guess we'll see what you do as well.
Yeah.
But well, anywho, that's all I have for you. Strife. Is there anything you want to add as far as things that we may not have covered?
Well, I want to ask a question to you because I've.
Oh no, I'm not ready. No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
All right, see you later, guys. For me, I had this weird thought of like, what's the reason I don't like Gears 5 as much? And I realised it's because of like the enemy faction in it, and it made me think of this question. It's like like throughout Gears 1 through to this one, we've fought so many different factions. You've got the Locust, and obviously the original trilogy. You've got the Lambent. You've had DBs, and you've had the Swarm. So my question is like, of those four, well, technically the humans as well, but what's your favourite faction to fight in Gears, and why is it the Locust?
I don't even know if I've thought about this.
The only reason I asked because I was thinking about it, and it's like, God, I miss fighting Maulers from Gears 2 and 3. Like, there's nothing in Gears nowadays which resembles that. The Cantus, one of the best but most annoying enemies in Gears of War. But I miss not fighting them as well. Armored Cantus, the same sort of thing. It was a bit
Hmm.
daft the fact that they could roll at you. Basically, just became a hedgehog. But
Well, so were those in other horde modes?
so obviously, Cantus and Mauler were introduced in Gears 2.
Too, yeah, and
The Armored
I think
Cantus was in
the
Gears 3
yeah,
because you had all the Savage variants as well.
yeah.
Um, and it's just I miss fighting some of these older enemies like Blood Mounts, like the Armored Cantus, like Drudges, like Lambent Drudges. They were terrifying. Especially if you got too
Well,
close, they just pick you up and tear you in half. It's like, oh, okay, that's yay.
well, it's like so for me because I can't give an adequate answer if we're talking about more than Gears 5 because this is the only horde I've played. So I don't have. I'm aware of those enemies, but like if they're in other hordes, I haven't played them in those contexts.
Right.
I've seen them played. I've played the most I've done is a beast mode a few times in Gears 3, but I did that like within the last year. I didn't even play it when Gears 3 was out. So I can't really, unless you're talking about like Gears 5 specifically, I can't really even give like a real answer. I didn't play Gears 4 Horde at all. Um,
And I suppose because you've not gone through the campaigns, it leaves you at a slight disadvantage, though, I guess.
Not, yeah, like I haven't, like I don't know. Going through campaign is actually like I have to be in like a mood for it. Like I think most people kind of can just do it, but like I have to be in like a very specific mood to do campaign. I don't know why. It's just kind of I think because I grew up not doing campaigns and just going straight into PvP. I'm not in that like story mode, person, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't even give like an adequate answer, honestly. I will tell you some things people said to me as far as the enemy types is the that people don't like the fact that there's robots in Gears 5. Like they don't care for rejects, DR1s. It's really the peacemakers. They feel like they don't have the I don't even know what the word they would use, personality that like a locust would give as far as like fighting. They're like, oh, I've even heard people say like, I didn't start Gears 5 to fight robots or something like that. Like they're legit people against it, and I'm just kind of like, I'm I'm kind of like indifferent because like I don't really have like a ton of overall horde experience to say like, oh yeah, I remember something from 2 or 3 or whatever. So unfortunately, I'm a casual, so I can't really give you I can't really give you
You're a casual with
you
over
know
100 days played. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I'm the highest played casual you'll ever find. But yeah, I can't really give you an adequate answer. Like I will do the at least I think I will. We'll see. My plan is to do the campaigns this month. Like so that leaves like 1, 2, 3. What don't I? I don't have 4 uploaded, so I'll probably do that again. Judgment, which you've never heard of, and
No idea what you're about.
and I think that's all of them. I think I named them all. Yeah.
See,
But
as much as I resent Judgment, it's the fact that it's Call of Duty controls essentially. The story wasn't bad, but if you've read the books, I'd need someone to clarify this, but the books contradict the story of Judgment because it's like Baird only joins the COG on Emergence Day because he's basically forced to. Yet the story of Judgment takes place 30 days after Emergence Day or something, and he's already like a lieutenant. I'm just a bit like, what? That doesn't make sense to me. But sure. So that's
yeah,
so it did introduce like some very cool elements like redacted parts of the story where you could change it up a little bit, but it was just like you tried to change the formula, but it didn't work in my opinion.
gotcha. I guess I'll find out then.
Yeah, spoilers, sorry.
Like, no, no. It's all good. It's all good. I've actually wanted to get into the books more, but every book I find online is like $100, and I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Is is there more affordable ways to find like all Gears books? Like I have the comic that was associated with getting Mechanic Mac. I don't know if you got it too, but
No,
that was
I've been trying to find them recently, but like you, they're all upwards of £100, and it's just I'm not paying that.
yeah. Like I'd rather not know the story than pay, like a bunch of money for it.
Yeah,
But it is what it is. But yeah, at the time it was only, I don't know the conversion to pounds, but it was $15 US. Um, and yeah, it wasn't a big deal at the time. So yeah, if it's like a lot of money now, that's a shame because it wasn't when it first was introduced to get Mechanic Mac.
exactly.
And I'm so glad the coalition, because they would do some dumb shit like this. Didn't release Mechanic Mac in the store because I'd be mad. But
We Do you remember the launch of Gears 3 then when it was infuriating because they did this thing where there was four exclusive skins that they released at the launch of Gears 4. So you had Commando Dom, you had Mechanic Bird, um, Savage Grenadier Elite, and I think it was Savage Cantus. I could be wrong with that last one. But each of these individual characters was given to like individual retailers. So depending on where you bought it from, depending on which character you would get extra in the game, and obviously being a massive Baird fan, I could never find the retailer that sold it in the UK, and I had to literally just buy. I had to buy the card. I think it only cost me like £6-7, so it wasn't something expensive. It was just like because I really wanted that character when it first
right,
launched. I just
right.
like it's like don't do something like that. It's fucking ridiculous. It's stupid. And then they go and release Mechanic Mac with a $100 uh,
Yeah,
comic book. I'm like,
that's.
why?
Oh, who knows if they're thinking really? Anyway. If it's gonna be exclusive, commit. Just make it exclusive.
Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah. There was actually one thing I can't remember about it, but they actually undid it. They mentioned it was like 6 months ago or a year ago. There was like these exclusive skins you got in Gears 4, right? I forget what they were. I didn't get them. Whatever they are, I don't have them. And then they were going to like put them in the store in Gears 5. And everyone that had those exclusive skins, I guess they were hard to get through doing something campaign or whatever related. I wish I remember the name, but I remember everyone on Twitter like losing their minds, like, they pulled out receipts of old tweets saying like, oh, these skins are going to be exclusive forever, and they actually didn't release them because there was so much quote unquote public outrage, because of the fact that yeah, it's just like if they're. I don't understand the problem. It's like you have exclusive skins. If you want to give people more skins, just make more skins. You
Yeah.
don't have to like. You don't have to take from. You don't have to piss anyone off. Just make earnable, purchasable, whatever skins in another department. You don't have to make those specifically exclusive skins. We can get why. I don't know. This is a whole nother rant.
Well, it's funny you should say that. There's a guy on YouTube. He goes by Harpoon something, and he's like always digging into like the Gears 5 files to find stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
Like when Operations 7 and 8 were coming out, and they started releasing like these heroic Baird and heroic Lani, those sorts of things. It was through his videos and stuff like that that I remember seeing some of these things, and there's stuff on there that he showed off. And it's just like it's ready, it's in the game. Why have you not released? Why have you not just released it? It just doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Like, yeah, it's there's a lot of skins where it's just like, you know, I don't know. I don't know how many classes don't have chrome steel, but there's a decent amount characters that don't have chrome steel. Like JD is, one of my favorites. He doesn't have chrome steel, and it's just like, why? And it's what is it? No, Lonnie's one of my favorites too, but she has a chrome steel. But yeah, I don't know who's making decisions over there. I don't know if they just flip a coin and they just like, okay, this person gets this, and then that's it. I don't know
Well,
think of these things.
even the Coltrane, massive fan base character, no chrome steel skin.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a flaw. It's a
yeah,
flaw. Yeah, for sure.
but you've got one here for
Marcus have one?
yeah, Marcus has got one. You've got
Okay.
Anya, Baird, Benjamin. You got Faz, and no one can stand that guy.
Fuzz, but that's all I know who likes Fuzz.
If he just wants me to hurl insults at him all day, I'm more than willing. That's all he does. It's the best. That's the best part in the campaign. It's like, you're Faz, right? Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Faz.
He's like, and he just like, and then he actually does it. He just like turns around and says like, "Oh, okay." But anyway, so all right, man. Well, that's all I have for you. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, well, this has been an absolute blast. I've loved doing this. Um,
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
one thing I will mention. You mentioned earlier, I didn't want to give it away too early, but Twitch and the fact that obviously it said I was last on a couple of months ago. I'm actually planning on coming back literally next week, so I didn't want to spoil it too early. Um,
Okay. Okay.
I've got like a bunch of custom graphics and stuff. I'm just gonna like upload to my channel. I've been working on it a lot, so hopefully Tuesdays. Obviously, time difference is going to be an issue for some people because like when you've streamed, sometimes I can literally watch an hour. It's like right, I'm going to bed. Same with Cherry. I've watched Cherry a good few times, and then I get into his stream for about an hour, and I'm falling asleep whilst playing a game with it. It's like sorry, I'm just. It's my forehead that's playing at this point. Just carry on. But no, I'm hopefully going to start streaming from next Tuesday onwards. Hopefully every week. 7 p.m. GMT, so 2 p.m. ET. I think that's right. Where you are. I think there's a 5 hour difference
Yes.
between us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hopefully next week onwards. So yeah.
I don't know. Like I what is it? What is it? I can't do scheduled like that because I know it's just my life is just too sporadic to do that. So I just kind of like go on whenever, get off whenever, which I don't know. That's probably not good either. There probably needs to be some sort of balance. But
Well, that's the thing.
anyway.
It's like I was thinking, yeah, I want to get back into it. When can I do it? I can't do it. Monday, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oh, Saturday, you're in work as well. Saturday, Sunday. No, I want a day off. Okay, Tuesday then. Fair enough. What? Any other day? No,
Yeah.
just Tuesday.
Yeah, but yeah, basically for me it's just kind of like okay, because if I'm not doing like a solo run, I feel like anything else is going to be entertaining enough to watch. Like because it's like a custom hive or a boss rush because I'll have audio. For solo runs, I'm too focused. Or it's either I'm too focused or too angry. So like I don't.
Those are
it's
the
just
two
kind of
extremes.
depend. That's what it is, and so like it's probably not the best thing to record per se. I like to kind of internalize my rage if I can, but but yeah, so like I kind of just do it whenever I have like a couple hours I'll go on. Sometimes a marathon, we'll see, but anywho, but yeah. All right, I'll end it here then, and I'll put in my description of so Tuesday, 5 p.m. GMT. You're thinking
7 p.m. I'm
Just
thinking.
7 p.m. 7 p.m.
Yeah,
Okay.
if put the link, it's obviously Twitch TV HollowStrife, but I'm gonna hopefully update everything in there, and it's gonna start doing that countdown thing that you can do. I think I figured out how to do it. I think.
I don't know a lot. There's so much I need to figure out. My plan is to figure out a lot of stuff this year with like, recording podcasts, Twitch stuff, getting cartoon stuff. There's so much stuff we'll call them New Year's resolutions, but I don't like calling them that because people that have New Year's resolutions don't do them. These are actually going to get done. So, but
Well, you've got another 359 days to get them done.
Exactly. No pressure. But yeah. All right, I'll end it here. So, all right, guys. Thanks for listening, and thank you, HollowStrife, for taking the time. And you guys have a good one.
Peace.